and Coqui Nieto from Spain. Enjoy the first match of the morning here in Miami.
The team in blue versus the team in green. A look to the women's matchup. Andrea Ustero and Virginia Riera for the New York Atlantics. Luca's having a little fun with Barahona. The men's matchup, Lucas Campanolo playing alongside Ramiro Moyano, facing off against Coqui Nieto and Javi Barahona. Team in blue. The fellas will head off to the grandstand as we will play this best of 3 series. The men and women at the same time. The ladies will be on our center court coverage. Andrea Ustero, just 16 years old. She has been a bright spot through event 1 and event 2. Just getting to see her quick ascension to the top of the ranks. We've seen her not only play on the women's side, but also a chance to see her in the mixed matchups. Ustero in the green tank top, Riera in the white, or lighter green. Wind has been a major factor throughout event 1 and now into event 2. You can see the PPL flags in the background. That's a great indication as to the direction and level of wind. Wind will be at the back of one team and in the face of another based off its direction currently. It's been interesting to watch these teams try and figure out exactly how they want to approach the lob. The high lob, such a critical part of this game. However, when there are windy conditions like this, it's not surprising to see the ball played low that more often. Some grindy points. Driving that ball from the back glass all the way to the opposition. And there's a look to the matchup to get us started. Andrea Ustero, Virginia Riera, Victoria Iglesias, and Marina Guinart. Marina Guinart, a lefty. She'll be playing the drive side. Has a great deal of power. We gotta watch out for her smash, and not just that, but she is very pointed in terms of her location. Out of Spain, born in '96. One of the new faces to the PPL. Through the draft in 2024, we've had a chance to bring in a lot of new talent to the PPL. Victoria Iglesias, teammate to Marina, with over 20 new players, 8% of them being in the top 50 in the world. Andrea Ustero, the 16-year-old. It's hard to believe when you watch her that she's just 16. She'll be playing the drive side. 2 lefties on the court. She is the second. Marina Guinart, the first. Ustero, just born in 2007, stands at 5'7". Virginia Riera, out of Argentina, ready to roll for the New York Atlantics. 35 years old. Used to be the #1 out of Argentina, having played alongside Silvana Campos. She's been a nice complement to whoever stands next to her. Tamara Icardo, also a part of this roster. We saw her in action in event 1. But Riera, if you need her to be a steady force, she will be just that. She'll be your setup woman, but if you need a little more offense She'll also be able to find that. Andrea Ostero, though, will look to be a bit of the aggressor for the New York Atlantics team for Marina Guinart.
Good morning, welcome to the
She's 27 years old, currently sitting in the top 30 in the world as an individual.
Match of the day against the teams.
Victoria Iglesias just nearing about the top 20 as an individual.
With
Andrea Ostero also sitting at around that 30-point ranking as an individual. In terms of the paths to this point for the Toronto Polar Bears, they started out our day one coverage taking on the Cancun Waves, picking up the 3-0 win. They played twice on the first day, as they had the Florida Goats up next. However, it went the direction of the Florida Goats with a 2-1 victory. So coming out of day one, Toronto sat at 1-1. They played just once yesterday, and it came down all the way to the mixed matchup between them and the Las Vegas Smash. And ultimately, it went the direction of Toronto. Victoria Iglesias playing alongside Javi Barahona in that mixed matchup to Las Vegas. And going all the way to the super tiebreak even on that. A wild finish for Toronto, but they improve in the white group to 2-1. New York played just once on the first day, and it was a loss to the Las Vegas Smash. And then they picked up the win yesterday against Cancun, as they sit at 1-1. Still 2 matches to be played for New York. They play once today and once tomorrow, so a nice schedule in terms of spacing out their matches, one on each day. They will not have an off day through this second event. A look now to Juan Martin Diaz, one of the icons and legends of the sport, working with this New York Atlantics team. Out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Probably the nicest guy off the court that you will find. Sat at that #1 spot in the world for 14 years. If you want a great mind in the sport of paddle, he's the guy to have, or one of many to have on your sideline. You can see Raul Ruiz in the backdrop there. Also part of this Toronto team. That's one of the great elements. You can build out your roster. We've improved from 10 to 12 roster spots available for each of our 10 franchises. To get a chance to not only kind of mix in your roster over the 4 days of group play, as well as semifinal and championship Sunday. Maybe somebody goes down with an injury or just needs a little bit of a break, and you can substitute in, not during a match, of course, but from series to series. Just about ready to get this fantastic day 3 started. Probably the hottest day we will have in event 2. Sun already bearing down on our center court.
The match will start. Andrea Ostero to serve.
Andrea Ostero will start off. Ostero quickly sends one through the middle. A little extra bounce on that.
Bola.
There's the control from Riera.
30 love.
Well done. Managing the ball into the wind. It's going to fall short on the side of Ustero and Riera as wind is at their back. So the Toronto Polar Bears are going to be having to push this up. You can already see the challenge it is to find a lob. There's a perfect adjustment from Guinart. Better be working on that footwork, as there's going to be a lot of adjustments needed on each of these contacts. Finding the sidewall, ball out of bounds, making it 40 love. Can already tell the management of play here. Volleying from the back of the court, Guinart.
For the 15.
Finding their first point, the Toronto Polar Bears. Better hang on to your hats today. We've got banners flying, papers flying.
Let first
The
serve.
ball. Nice thing having a lefty covering on that cross court. Some heavy volleys. Victoria Iglesias sends it contra pared, and por cuatro, game to New York. Up now, 1-love. Good start on the serve of the New York Atlantics. But man, the first several points here, you can just tell everyone trying to dial in the lob, exactly where they want to play this ball, in and out of the wind. It's gonna be tough on that contra pared. Send that back to the glass and have enough force as she's hitting that off the wall and back into the wind yet again. They'll change ends here.
Marina Guinart to serve.
A half volley. Riera.
15
Pace
love.
removed from Victoria Iglesias.
Second serve.
Good ball down the line, creating
15
some
all.
issue. Riera with the perfect shot.
Perdona, que dile que hable más flojo, por favor. Gracias.
Nice pickup, Riera. Flattens it off the wall. High lob. Oh, and
15,
follows it
30.
with an absolute perfect shot. Lob and crash.
Thirty all. Forty 30.
Both teams taking shots at the feet. One of the toughest balls to have to defend. You got to move back out and around. 40-30 here for Toronto as they pick up their first game, but nonetheless, that almost good side, bad side effect. It's going to change the game each time with a change of ends. Not bad as New York picked up 2 points on the return.
50 love.
Oh, Victoria Iglesias spinning around, finding the backhand. Guinart Dialed in on the lob. So is Riera. She's looking to go over the top of Iglesias. Bajada. And another high extension. Andrea Ustero. She's kind of got a unique technique coming off the glass. At times she'll extend that left elbow, kind of come over the top and flatten it out. And that ball just went into the wind and stopped. It went absolutely nowhere.
Second serve.
Make it 40-15 here.
Second serve.
Fast lob, just the wrist of Ustero. Not enough, but Guinart is on top of it. Make it 40-30. Nice response from the Polar Bears. I think we're going to have some new balls early here. They've sent a few out already.
Si vos, a vos te beneficia la rápida. No, tampoco. ¿No?
No mucho. Dale esa 3 y cambiamos la otra, ¿no?
No, 2 no. Dale lo que quieras. Sí,
2 o 3 cogemos. A ver,
a ver cómo están esas.
Sí, las 3.
Está más nueva.
Las 3 y ya.
Bueno, sí, están igual. Las 3 no.
Igual vienen las 2 bolas ahí.
So new balls here at 40-30. New York with the serve.
40-30, chicas.
Juan Martin Diaz also apparently serving as an umpire.
Game.
Missing on the two-hand backhand, one of her best shots. That brings us to a 2-1 advantage. The New York Atlantics, a series of holds here between these two teams, as they now get a chance to reset on the sideline.
Pero de aquel lado no es tan fácil. Ahora, no importa, bueno, después ya vemos lo de. Solo tirando para arriba, que lo hicieron muy bien de aquel lado. Ahora se va. Un vuelvo.
O sea, ahí solo para arriba.
Sí, solo para arriba, que vaya. Y lo que sí, como la bola va para allá, da muchísimo rebote en el vidrio. Entonces, estén bien armaditas para esperar un balazo de salida de pared. ¿Está?
Victoria Iglesias to serve.
In the early stages of this match, it's looking a little like keep away for the New York Atlantics, trying to avoid the lob over the top of Guinart. They flatten one to her here on the return. They send one up. Good block. Pressuring her into the corner. She can't fight that one off. It does feel as if there's a little bit more of the cross-court exchange between Iglesias and Riera. Got to pick the right times to redirect. There's that wicked two-hand backhand from Iglesias. that one
30.
bounces right out. Not the way you'd anticipate a por cuatro, but nonetheless, it's off the lob. Love 30 for the Toronto Polar Bears.
15-30.
Earning one back, good serve.
Let first serve.
Tough ball, Riera. Sneaking out of the way, trying to scoop that from behind her, off the shoulder. Good ball from Guinard. So much force on that. Good block.
40-30.
Even better duck out of the way, Iglesias, recognizing the counter. 3 straight here for New York, or excuse me, for Toronto. Bit more of a flat lob, more directional. Oh,
Yeah.
absolute perfection.
Toronto Bears,
Well done.
2 games all first sets.
4 straight
Andrea
points
Ostero
after
to
being
serve.
down love 30 for Toronto to find the hold.
enough.
Racket just a bit too open on that as she's closing down on the volley.
All.
So hard on those overheads, letting that ball fall, drop down.
You 30.
You have to imagine being on that side where New York is right now. As that ball falls into the air or flies into the air, you got to make sure probably take another step or two underneath it. It's going to drop down in front of you. Soft on the smash from Ustero.
30 all.
Well placed, making Guinard move. 30 all.
Then first serve. Second serve.
Victoria Iglesias throwing up her hand saying, where'd the wind go? Frustrated, she tries to find that backhand lob. .40-30. Fighting that off the glass. Quick reaction from Toronto. Ball off the net. Chases on Iglesias, but it's not enough. Ustero sending that one to the sky.
3 games to first set.
New York finds yet another hold, bringing them to 3-2.
Estoy como que no. No me.
A look out to the grandstand now, where the men are in action for the New York Atlantics and the Toronto Polar Bears. Ramiro Moyano, Lucas Campanolo, Coqui Nieto, and Javi Barahona. Far side, Toronto Polar Bears. 1-2 the score 40-30 with New York on the serve. Chance to even here at 2-all. Playing the backhand side. Moyano working through the middle here. That's Barahona. The soft to the corner. Campanolo looks to Nieto. And Nieto brings this to deuce and a golden point. Yesterday, Barahona and Nieto had a tough one against Las Vegas Smash. They won the first set 6-0 and then dropped the second 6-7.
Marina Guinard to serve.
And ended up losing in the super tiebreak. Let's see how they respond. The night's rest, golden point here. Caminolo on the chase, tries to cover. Moyano stays at the back. Chasing it down, and it is a break for the New York, or for Toronto, excuse me. Now up 3-1.
15-all.
The advantage after the golden point. Nice to get that early break. Barahona, the lefty. See the flat play here. No one wanting to send that ball up into the air. Point still goes to Toronto. Love for Toronto. .30-15 here, and what a fun experience. If you haven't had a chance to come out to the Ultra Paddle Club, check out the grandstand alongside the center court. Walk past the VIP section, you might just get a glimpse of some big names, not just in the world of paddle, but in the world in general. Daddy Yankee sitting in there earlier. Nieto sends this down the line. Campanolo. Barahona continuing to just hit heavy backhand volleys. Nieto. Seems as if Toronto is playing some just steady paddle right now. Not taking too much risk. And waiting for New York to make the error. That brings us to 40-15, a chance to go up 4-1 here for Toronto. But really, it's just steadied out in terms of Toronto's side. Not a whole lot of look at heavy attack. Again, trying to just manage, and ultimately it works for the side of Toronto. They go up 4-1 in the first set. Look to center court as well.
New York Athletics, leading 4-3 first sets.
And a game just added to the board as well for the New York Athletics. Still yet to find a break, either of these two teams, up 4-3.
Jugando como sobrepique. Esperar hasta que el globo sea bueno. Si el globo es bueno, ya ahí, si querés te metés como hiciste en una que le ganaste. Porque vos todo el tiempo tirás y aunque sea corto, te quedás arriba. Entonces te obligás a jugar sobrepique.
Si te enchufa una ahí, viejo, pero es que está yendo al paralelo o al medio, que no va ninguna más. Cubre en el medio y a la que nos enchufen ahí ya veremos qué pasa.
Por arriba si la un remate no estoy pero es por la pista de
Sí, sí, amagamos.
Victoria Iglesias to serve.
Still yet to find a break in this first set between the Toronto Polar Bears and the New York Atlantics. Toronto leading on the men's side, 4-1 in that first set. New York leading here 4-3. Men's and women's split.
Third love.
We'll go to that mixed matchup, becoming the deciding factor. Victoria Iglesias and Marina Guinard. They picked up the win yesterday over the Cancun Waves. 7-6, 6-4. It was a tight one over Carolina Navarro, Ana Cortiles. That's Riera from her shoelaces. Rolling from a topspin, another topspin ball, two-hand backhand from Iglesias.
30-15.
30-15 here. And watch just how they spread the court out and then the quick touch, Riera. It's the second time she's found the last 3 inches of the court. Continuing to try and prep her, goes cross court, then down the line for Iglesias. Fast lob to Estero, trying to beat her back to the middle.
30 all.
And instead it's stretched. Iglesias, ball off the fence. 30 all. Good point here. Had a chance to see that nasty two-handed backhand from Iglesias. She continues to rip that back cross court. Fast lob to Riera. There's some good point construction on the side of Toronto. Riera gets stuck. Not able to recover back to the middle there.
Game.
Good serve in the game.
4 games.
It's rare you see that, not even able to get a racket on it.
To serve.
Evening the score 4-all. Set point for the Toronto Polar Bears on the men's match. .40 love, 5-1 for Toronto here. And that's Toronto picking up the first set. This is very reminiscent to their matchup versus the Las Vegas Smash, where they picked up the 6-0 set. And then all of a sudden, it was a completely changed game in set 2. The Las Vegas Smash embarking on quite a journey to be able to pick up the men's win in the super tiebreak. Let's see if the New York Atlantics can find a little bit of the same scouting report. New York leading here, 30-love.
Second serve.
Oh,
40 love.
she tried to jump out of the way, but ultimately it hit her right in the calf. Point to New York. Just about ready to let that one go. Might have been a glass finder. Adding a bit more of that
40-15.
backspin, and Ustero still trying to find the exact shot she's looking for. Nice pickup from Guinart. Just slightly out of position. They found her, but she had a nice response. Backing out of the way again. Guinart here. Falling out of the back of that. Victoria Iglesias can't find her two-handed backhand. And we sit with the hold. Still no one able to find a break. Watch Iglesias here. And up on her heels, tough ball. She's backed up from Ustero.
Largo y alto.
Ball change, please.
Y esperen. Vos lo que vengas a la línea. Esperás. Y una vez que ellas se quedan cortas, ahí nos vamos. Con tu derecha, con tu lo que sea. Ahí atacamos. Pero esperen. O cuando la ven, te van a hacer.
O sea, cuesta más desde aquí cuando tiramos firme con abajo que cuando tiramos luego chiquito, no sé qué. O sea, que vamos a jugar más fácil. Desde aquí vamos a jugar en plan por abajo ya, como si estuviéramos floteando, ¿sabes? Sí. Vamos a hacer primero el nuestro. Vale, con primero yo.
Solo que ellas estaban por aquí, por abajo. Con Marta, ¿no? Le damos Marta y le damos Polo.
Está igual de complicado para ellas que para nosotros.
Por abajo con Marta.
Para eso yo creo que cuando le jugamos por la banda, sufre más el revés, como para vivir, que no tiene nivel del revés. Le gusta más el revés ahí, que la derecha.
Pero estamos un poco de
Bolas nuevas. To start with new balls, Marina Guinart.
Toronto now wind at their back, have the serve. That's probably the first real strike we've seen from Ustero. She looks to Juan Martin Diaz and throws her hands in the air. Says, is that all it takes? Riera. Bit more of a flat smash here. There's the kick.
Left
The right
30.
time as the Toronto Polar Bears find themselves at the back of the court. Really good lift off that serve. Once again, now they're lobbing the direction of Guinart. Ustero, short, but even better ball. Iglesias with a drop shot in the winner.
15-30.
Quiet hands, good touch. Iglesias staring into the sun here. bit of a poach
30-all.
there, Marina Guinat. Cutting off that cross-court angle with her forehand. Watch her court position. Right read, just 2 quick shuffle steps. Gets right in front of it. They earn 2 back here, 30-all. It's a big game for these two teams. Ultra high lob, shallow, the soft stuff, and Rieta
40-30.
cannot track it down. Another 3 straight points. We've seen Toronto do this not just once, but twice already in this matchup. Being down love 30 and then climbing their way back into their own game, in which they have their serve. Ustero finds the 4-meter fence. That ball is no good. And for a second time, the Toronto Polar Bears, it's almost as if they're climbing out of hibernation, come back on their own serve to pick up the game. Five all.
Second serve.
A fantastic first set to watch between these two teams. Thought this would be close, but this is proving to be that much better. Oh, that ball completely changed its mind, going the direction of Ustero.
15 off. Late first serve. No second serve.
Rieta on the serve here. Second. Oh, that was a close call.
30
Pays it off though. Rieta, great core positioning. 30 love. Another big game.
$30-15.
Looking for the bajada de Pared. Falling to just about shoulder height, the miss from Ustero. Tracking it down, Rieta
40-15.
again on the prowl, on the hunt. Now up 40-15. Shallow lob
Game.
and a great ball. Ustero propelling New York to the 6-5 lead. Still not a single break in this first set.
Victoria Iglesias to serve.
New York just a break away from set one.
Love.
Not what they're looking for. Again, wind at their back now. Wind in the face of Toronto.
No second serve. 15 all.
Some heavy volleys from both sides. Tough spot, just about 3 feet inside the service line here for Iglesias as she tries to close down. Outstretched down Iglesias. Riera throws that high. Loving that combination from Riera. Lob, finding a quick little cut volley. Really tough ball. That found the 4-meter fence on the top and the side. Perfect location. Ustero again playing well beyond her years. Heck of a shot selection here. Letting that come off the tip of her racket, rolling down the length. Oh. Popped up. Guinart blocked back. Trying to find defense on both the backhand and forehand side. She can't find enough. Well played from Toronto. There's that wicked two-handed backhand again, Iglesias. Was the sitter high on the forehand side of Riera. She's even a little stunned.
No second serve.
Guinart finds that before the fence. That finds the glass first. Game to Toronto. They were up 40-30, and they now even the score is 6-all.
To start the tiebreak will serve Andrea Ustero.
No one willing to break here. We head to a tie break. Just 7 points played here. After all that work, it comes down to 7 points in set 1. Checking the other side of the court, trying to communicate with Iglesias.
New York Athletics.
Riera finds a good ball.
New York Athletics. To 1, New York Athletics.
New York went up 2-0, now 2-1. Looks like Iglesias pointing out the back corner now on the side of Riera. Communication such a critical part of point construction, especially for these two teams in a tiebreak. One high lob to the other. This one's got topspin on it, rolling over.
2-all.
Bit too flat from Riera. Watch how she undercuts that. Wow, the amount of spin, you can see it on Guinart's face. Grateful that one went long. Keeps her court position with the bandeja. At the bajada. Nice location from Iglesias. Short angle to the fence. Oh, trying to go inside out. Tough volley there as she opened up her wrist and redirected. Not an easy shot. Watch this change here. Almost ducking that elbow into her interior. That's 3 straight for Toronto. Guinart now tracking these down.
4-2, Toronto Polar Bears.
Make it 4 straight points for Toronto. Again, this tiebreak just played to 7. New York had the first 2. And it was 1, 2, 3, and a 4 for Victoria Iglesias and Marina Guinart. Talk about a response. Again, some of these lobs just going a bit long here. Wind at the back on the side of New York. And you can see just what a great challenge this is. Be able to find this ball landing at the back end of the court. Change of ends. New York heading into the wind now. That's a shallow ball. Oh.
5-2, Toronto Polar Bears.
New York finding a ball back now. They are not out of this. Just down by 2. Feels as if every point you can find, wind in your face. You got to utilize it here. 4-5. Make it 5-4. Ball back to Toronto. Let's see if New York can pick another one off. Ooh, fast lob. I like it. They had a back to the net. Can't find the ball off the glass. Scrapping and clawing the Toronto Polar Bears. That's a big point. Instead of 5-all, it's now 6-4. That is a huge shift for Toronto. Set point. Iglesias manages. Oh, what a setup. Iglesias cannot find that one.
6-5.
The 1-2-3 contact from Ustero is just stunning. You gotta be kidding me. How did she come up with these shots? New York bringing themselves within 1. Set point remains for Toronto. Ustero
6-all.
ties the score at 6-all. They have now fought off 2 set points. A bit risky. Guinart was right on that, just barely missing. Ooh, that was risky. Look at the facial expression from Ustero and Juan Martin Diaz. Look at this. She got a touch on it, but ultimately found the glass. We got to risk it for the biscuit. New York right now did just that. Tied up 6-all in this tie break. Got to win by 2. We play to 8 now. It was a 5-point run to get Toronto to a 5-2 advantage. Then it was back-to-back points for New York, and now they've gone 1, 1, 1, and 1. Change of ends. Toronto playing with wind in their face.
(7-6), New York Atlantic.
7-6, the first look for New York at a set point. Having fought off 2 of their own from Toronto. High backhand volley. Nice location for Riera. Another high backhand. Riera is on point with her placement here. Working on Guinart. Oh, Ustero chasing that down and ultimately taking set 1. New York 8-6 in the tie break. Defended against 2 set points. A fun start to this women's matchup in our first series of the day, the New York Atlantics and the Toronto Polar Bears going all the way to the tie break. And set 1, New York sneaking away with it. Bottom falling out of that ball. Point 2, Toronto. The men's matchup, set 1, 6-1 for Toronto. Now even at 4-all in set 2.
30 off.
You imagine the mentality of Toronto. Not only could there be some frustration having had 2 set points, but also you now have to clear the mechanism, get back, get reset for set 2. Or you can use it with a little extra fuel to the fire. Let's see what they do here.
40 off.
3 straight. Continuing to lob through the middle, Toronto. The Chiquita.
Game
to Toronto.
First game of the second set.
An effective and dominant first game. 4 straight points for Toronto. Wind at their back. That's exactly what you want to see after the drop in set 1. Interesting too for these 2 teams. Toronto and New York, both of them having played in the semifinals in event 1, which means they played not only the 4 days of group play, but also played Friday and Saturday, so 6 in total. Had a day off and they got right back to the action. What about the attrition for these 2 teams? Not the easiest thing. So they're now in day 3. Having played 9 days in the past 10, the New York Atlantics and the Toronto Polar Bears.
Sensor.
Toronto up 5-4 in the men's match. That means they're just 1 game away from taking a series point. potent approach from Victoria Iglesias. Tough serve. That's the ball you get out of it. Short and return.
40-30.
Bustero, probably one of the more underrated aspects of her game. She's got a pretty saucy serve. Digging Bustero. And it's Guinart.
Use golden point.
Bringing us to a
Victoria
golden
Iglesias
point.
to receive.
There's the cross step, good preparation, opening up.
Let first serve.
Take a look out now to the grandstand. I believe this is a look at match point. Toronto Polar Bears picking up the win on that last smash. The lefty, Javi Barahona, getting the win alongside Coqui Nieto in just 2 sets played. They were dominant in set 1, 6-1. Set 2 going their direction as well. 6-4. So Toronto now leading the series 1-0. Good news for the New York Atlantics is that set 1 went the direction
Game. Toronto Polar Bears, they lead 2 games to none.
of New York, as that golden point just ended on a very interesting note. Riera says she can't even believe it. Look at this. Lady Luck on the side of Guinart.
Victoria Iglesias to serve.
That's the first break we've seen in this match. Bustero asking herself how? That ball onto her left side, look at this. Had a great look. Trying to pull that ball back down the line. That ball getting sent.
30-love.
Riera is feeling the pressure here. Iglesias and Guinart not letting her off the hook whatsoever.
$40.
Love. It seems as if Toronto using that first set, giving themselves a little boost here. Playing with a chip on their shoulder. Extended volley. Oh, unbelievable ball. Victoria Iglesias contra pared. Blocked back.
Game, Toronto Polar Bears.
Game
They
to
lead
Toronto.
3
They
games to
now
none.
lead
Second set.
3-0 in the second set.
Ahí dándote de cabeza. Contra pared lateral, passing, shot. De todo, de todo. Vamos.
No, pero ya era hora que se haya segundo de revés, que lleva.
Virginia Riera to serve.
Down a break, the New York Atlantics switch to win in the face side. So hard. It's one thing to get your racket in front and find the block. It's another thing to be able to control it and find enough leverage that back over Guinard. Look at this. She goes with the 1-2 punch.
Love 30.
Riera leaving her feet.
Fifteen 30.
Stunning ball, Ustero. Ideal timing on the bajada.
Second serve. (30-40).
Handful of unforced errors on the side of New York right now. We haven't seen this. You can hear Iglesias let out a bit of a sigh as she tries to chase that one back.
Victoria Iglesias to receive.
Iglesias trying to cover on the cross court. Brings us back to a golden point. Second golden point we've had here in set 2. Unique ball from Victoria Iglesias. Now it's Guinard. Plenty of space. Riera
Toronto Ball Bears lead by 3.
finds the alley down the middle.
Second set. Marina Guinard to serve.
First golden point we saw was a break for Toronto. This one, the
Let's
direction of Houston. Finding their first game, set 2.
La 15. Second serve.
Rulo. Victoria Iglesias. Rolling that ball the opposite direction. Finding the fence. 15-all. Like she's on an agility ladder from right to left, right to left. Victoria Iglesias making the Riera work. Look at this. It's like she's in a conditioning drill. Ducking out of the way, Iglesias. sells it just enough. Marina Guinard. Looks like she's gonna go for the smash right at the last second. Eases up, finding a point.
For the 30.
Riera not pulling any punches here. Sees Guinard back to the glass.
Yes.
Oh, this is exactly what New York needed, bringing us back to a golden point, the third here in set 2. What a difference from set 1 for these two teams.
Game.
Golden point and a break. New York earning it back.
Second set.
New York trails 2-3.
Tenemos que reafirmarlo con la posición nuestra. Ey, lobazo, adelante, ahí después. Vamos acá, Vamos bien.
Marina, vamos, que te la comes aquí,
Lo huevos pinchados antes me gusta, sí, porque no se mueve. Se mueve mucho nada, y más un poquito de fuego. Vale, oye, Marina.
Time. Andrea Ostero to serve.
From one break to another, Toronto found their second game. Earned. Now it's New York. Can they pair it off? Take advantage with a hold.
Love 15.
Just day 3 here of event number 2.
Love 30.
Incredible touch. Victoria Iglesias just rolling that. Watch here, there's the top spin. That ball falling just after it eclipses the net. Another phenomenal dig, Iglesias. That's 3 straight from her. Running out, trying to find the recovery from the door.
15-30.
Iglesias can't believe it. Good avoidance from Iglesias with the net ball. Now it's Guinard. She had the look she wanted. Tried to send that back cross court. Such a quick exchange here. Not a whole lot of time to recover. Authoritative swing from Riera.
Deuce, golden point.
Fight off
Victoria
the
Iglesias
first
to
break
receive.
point for Toronto. Now bringing us back. This is the 4th golden point. This is astonishing. And just set 2 alone. But it was just a series of holds in set 1. The second, it's an absolute all-out war.
Game. New
York takes advantage of the break they had just previously earned and find a golden point.
Victoria Iglesias to
Evening the
serve.
score, 3-all. New York winning the last 3 golden points, earning 2 of them for a hold.
Enough.
Poitres finds the back glass. Good amount of kick there from Guinart. Ducking out of the way, but they don't even need to recover. Again, Toronto has to have this second set if they want to pick up this women's matchup and move on to the super tie break. Flattening. Ustero.
30-15.
She's looked to risk it a little bit more here. The late stages of not only set 1, but into set 2. She's come away with not only some big time winners like that, also just a handful of errors.
40-15.
Dictating terms up at the net, Victoria Iglesias.
Game. Toronto Polar Bears, they lead 4-3.
Toronto earning the hold and go up 4-3 here in set 2. Again, the Toronto Polar Bears on the men's side picking up the win over the New York Atlantics. This one looks like it could be going the distance.
Time. You waltz, Polar We'll start with you waltz, Virginia Herrera.
We hope you're enjoying all the fun here at the Pro Paddle League. Just the second event in 2024. Still so much to be determined. Not only the champion event too, but who will be moving on to the PPL Cup Finals.
30 love.
Putting them on a racetrack. The New York Atlantic's taking point. There's the risk again. That's incredible. Beyond the service line and unafraid, Andrea Ustero. Quiet touch from Riera.
40 love.
Bit of a surge here from New York on their own serve. And again, bajada de pared. This time she works the lob in. Lower bounce off the wall. Drops the fence, lifted now to a lob. She missed it the first time, finds it off the rebound.
Game.
And a game to New
New
York.
York Atlantics, 4 games all,
If
second.
at first you don't succeed, try again.
Marina Guinard, 2 serve.
Good showing there from Andrea Ustero. Tough ball for Ustero. Trying to turn back and around.
A
little extra force there. Toronto, good ball. Finding the error off the serve. Another point for Toronto. Since the end change, there's just been a series of points between these two teams on their own serve. There's another good look. Oh, sent back. Andrea Ustero fighting off the Portres. Wrapping around the door frame here. Twisting, turning, and coming away with a point. But ultimately, the game going the direction of the Toronto Polar Bears, now up 5-4.
Madre, vamos a caer. Vamos, ¿eh?
Andrea Ustero to serve.
keeping things close here in the second set, as they were in the first. Yikes.
Love 15.
A great block. Iglesias almost giving just a bit of a chuckle here. Marina Guinart, that's all she could do was just get a racket in front of it, but comes away with the point. That's what you call a reaction.
15.
Seems as if Andrea Ustero's almost been let off the leash. She is now moving all over the court, looking to attack. Ibera from Ustero.
30-15. Second serve. All.
Good read from Iglesias. Watch the recognition here. Good setup. Sending that ball down the line and finding the cross-court angle.
40-30.
Beautiful. As soon as you go to cover middle, she'll twist it back down the line. That's absolute magic, Andrea Ustero. Imagine what she'll be doing at 17, 18, 19, 20. Just 16 years old, Andrea Ustero. I haven't seen that two-handed backhand in a minute. They've avoided it. Victoria Iglesias. Known for that shot right there, the damage it can do. The 5th golden point in set 2. Last 3 going the direction of New York.
Second serve.
Ustero sends one back, but ultimately the game goes
New York Athletics
to the New York Athletics. Another hold.
Victoria Iglesias to serve.
They have now won 4 straight golden points, 3 of which they earned as a hold. Toronto's had a few good looks.
Enough. Third enough.
Good play here, Victoria Iglesias. Really impressed with just her court movement. Her ability to send up one ball and quickly know exactly where she needs to be on the response.
40 enough.
Quick to track down through the transition zone. Iglesias down the line. That ball avoided out of the middle. High backhand and a tough one, but Toronto should not fear here. Now still up 40-15. They've put themselves in a phenomenal position to go up 6-5. They've got a little room to wiggle.
Game.
ultimately finding the game up 6-5.
6 games to 5.
Toronto
Second set.
inching their way to force the super tiebreak here.
Serve.
Some tight moments here in set 2.
Second serve.
New York earned set 1 off a tiebreak. And now trail 5-6. Really impressed with the performance from Toronto in this second set. Especially they had 2 set points in the first. They've been tough in this matchup. Fun to see all the different audiences tuning in for the Pro Paddle League from all over the world. Some including from Belgium currently.
No second serve.
Welcome to Miami. Loading up
30-15.
and falling out. Barely missing there. Not the time you want to find an error on the return, and Iglesias knows it. Sends a racket into the top of her thigh. 40-15 to even the score. Riera. Sends it back once more, off the glass. Fighting, and Toronto finds the point they need. They take home the second set, 7-5.
Match tiebreak.
We knew during this matchup that this one was going to be a tough battle between these two teams. You look at where they position themselves in terms of the world rankings, all so similar. And now we head off to the super tiebreak, the deciding factor for this women's matchup. To 10 we play.
1-0, Toronto Polar Bears.
7-6 in the first for New York, 7-5 in the second.
1-all.
One apiece here in the super tiebreak.
Second serve.
Toronto Polar Bears having picked up the men's match. If their women win here, they will walk away with the series win.
Toronto Polar Bears.
However, if New York wins, the mixed match will become the deciding factor. 2-1, the lead here for Toronto.
Second serve.
Assessment, Ustero. Ustero again.
3-1.
Looks to fake just a little bit and try and find the ball down the line. Such a short angle to have to find. There's that two-hand backhand. Then finds the single. Ustero
4-1.
trying to chase after that,
Toronto Polar
turning
Bears.
through the corner. 4-1. This feels like the tie break that we saw in set 1. There was a 5-point run for Toronto in that set break. Ultimately, New York found its way back.
5-1.
You can just hear the difference off of
Toronto
Guinard's
Polar Bears.
racket. So impressive. That's just some marvelous power, Marina Guinard. Flat smash from her, 5-1 now. Last time they were in this tie-break scenario, it was only played to 7, and there was a 5-2 advantage for Toronto. You have to keep that out of your mindset if you're Toronto here.
6-1.
As they surpass the 5-point mark, now up 6-1.
Marina Guinard to serve.
Toronto picks up this super tiebreak. They pick up the series win. Currently, Toronto sits at 2-1 as a team.
7-1. Toronto Polar
Make it
Bears.
7-1 through the first 2 days. This just being their last and
8-1.
final
Toronto Polar Bears.
series in group play. Could they finish out 3-1 and find a second semifinal berth? Once more.
9-1. Toronto Polar Bears.
There's no slowing down the Toronto Polar Bears here. A match point now and a series point. Toronto Polar Bears.
9-2.
Riera earns 1.
Toronto Polar Bears.
Time to send up a prayer for New York. Nice crossover step, Iglesias. A little extra something. Ball
Game,
is sent
set,
back.
and match.
Toronto
Toronto
picking
Polar
up the
Bears.
super tiebreak
They
and
won
the
by
match.
6-7, 7-5, and 10-2.
Marina Guinard,
Thank you so
Victoria
much.
Iglesias, victorious. Toronto also victorious. Both the men's and the women's teams have the win. And Toronto goes up 3-1 in the white group. Handing New York another loss. New York was at 1-1. Now they sit at 1-2. For now, Toronto's work is done before Saturday. As they will have the day off tomorrow. That's a perfect way to finish out group play. A win over the New York Atlantics. New York Atlantics. Now it's a little more dicey as to who will get in out of the white group. They're at 1-2. And the Florida Goats also in this group already sit at 2-0. Florida would have to lose twice. That's a big ask. This was a big time matchup between Toronto and New York. Toronto had to have it. Andrea Ostero disappointed after that, having picked up set 1, a closely contested set 2, but then ultimately the tiebreak just going all the direction of Toronto. Javi Carrasco with the winners.
Ya tienen el pase para las semifinales los chicos de Toronto.
Toronto
Han
Polar
ganado el
Bears
partido
into
masculino
the
para Ana y
semifinals
Coquinieto, también el
after
femenino
winning
Marina
both
Aguinar,
matches.
Victoria Iglesias,
Marina Aguinar
enhorabuena, chicas, ha sido un
and
partido
Victoria
súper
Iglesias,
disputado.
congratulations. It was a
Y
close
el primer
match.
set es verdad que cayó del lado de New
The
York,
first
pero a
set
partir de ahí
went
os
for the
supisteis
New
reponer
York Athletics,
y habéis
but
jugado
as
muy
of
bien,
then,
tanto Victoria,
you
que
started
estáis
playing
jugando con
good.
Marina, es una de esas parejas nuevas que a la gente le está gustando
And
mucho.
this is
Y
one
no sé
of
si en el
those
futuro
new
puede
teams
ser
that
una
are
alternativa.
working
Buenas
well,
tardes,
and maybe in the
buenos días.
future, who knows, we're going to play together again.
El mundo que vive. La verdad que enhorabuena a las chicas, han jugado un
Congratulations
partidazo, vi
to the New
lado
York
y
Athletics.
eso en algún momento se nota, pero ha hecho un partido
Virginia
increíble.
Herrera doesn't play in the backhand side,
Hay
and at
mucho
some
viento.
point you realize
Es
that.
superincómodo
But
jugar
she's
ahora
done a
mismo, pero
super,
bueno,
super
nos hemos
nice
adaptado
match.
mejor nosotras después en el segundo set.
Conditions were
Y ya,
tough,
pues,
it
ahí
was
hemos
windy.
arrancado con mucha
In the
confianza y
second
eso,
set we
pues, nos ha
started
dado
playing better
el título.
with a
Pero
lot of
bueno, Marina
confidence,
está
and
jugando una
we were able
barbaridad,
to win.
nos hemos
Marina is playing a
complementado
lot,
muy bien,
she's playing
las
nice.
dos, así que nada.
We feel comfortable playing together.
Mañana no jugamos porque descansamos, pero
Now,
yo creo que
tomorrow
nunca
we
se
won't
calla para la
play
semifinal, no sé,
because
no
we're
tengo
going to
ni
have
idea,
some
pero
rest.
sí. Pues entonces para
We
semifinales
didn't
sábado
know
nos
that
vemos.
we were into the semifinals,
Pues
but
nos vemos,
we have to
Victoria.
get ready for it.
Marina, le estás pegando muy bien, lo está diciendo tu compañera, estás jugando bastante con confianza, te vemos jugar con
You're
muchas
playing with a
sonrisas
lot
en
of
muchos momentos del
confidence,
partido,
smiling
y
in
con
the
Victoria
court.
haciéndolo al lado, pues yo creo que
And with
aquí
Victoria
es bastante
Iglesias,
cómodo, ¿no?
I think that
Sí, la
you're
verdad es que
comfortable
lo que dice
playing with her.
Victoria, está muy complicado para todos, hace viento, no
It's
es
tough
fácil
for all
jugar,
of them.
al final,
It's not easy playing here.
nos
It's
hemos
windy.
adaptado bien a las
I
condiciones,
think we
muy
were able to
contentas
adapt to the
cuando nos
conditions
estamos complementando muy bien, la
in a
verdad,
good
cuando
way.
ella está
We're
jugando algo peor, yo
completing
estoy jugando
each
bien,
other's
y al
game
revés,
very
que
well.
está siendo la mayoría del tiempo, así que muy contenta de jugar con ella, muy
I'm
contenta
super happy to
por el
play
equipo, por
with
clasificarnos
Victoria,
para
and super happy
semifinales.
for the team to
Y
qualify
quería
into the
mandar un beso a
semifinals.
mis padres, porque si no mi
I
madre
want
me
to say
va a
hi to my
¿Cómo se
parents
llama tu
because
madre?
if I don't do it, they're
Trini,
going to
pues
kill
un
me.
beso enorme de parte
Trini.
de Marina. Victoria, ¿qué hacéis si ganáis el torneo aquí en Miami?
What are you going to do if you win the tournament?
Una promesa, venga.
No, yo que sé si
No,
ganamos.
I'm not going to do it.
celebrarlo por todo lo
Of course,
alto.
we're going to celebrate, but
No
that's
hace
it.
falta, la verdad, un poco.
And we need it. We need to
Enhorabuena,
celebrate.
Victoria Iglesias, Marina Aguinar. No se pierdan el siguiente enfrentamiento entre Miami y los chicos de Houston Bolts aquí en la PPL.
The Toronto Polar Bears picking up another win and puts them in a great position to move on to the semifinal. But again, there is still so much to be determined because the Florida Goats sit at 2-0. They still have 2 matches to be played. So still some work to be done here at the event number 2. But nonetheless, it's the Toronto Polar Bears on top.